I wanted to do a video about why I'm not a massive fan of having a set routine for your dog. So by set routine, I'm talking about things like feeding them at the same time every day, taking them for walks around the same time every day, even down to little things like if you've got a multiple dog household, who gets their lead put on first or who gets the treat given to them first. All the little things that make up your dog's daily life. Now, dogs can become very quickly attached to a routine, and in certain circumstances it can be good for them to be in a routine because it can reduce stress because they know what to expect. But I found in general, more often than not, that having a strict routine can actually induce anxiety in your dog. Say for example, you always come home from work at 5 p.m. and you always take them for a walk at 5:30 p.m. But one day you get stuck in really bad traffic and you're an hour or so late, or you have to go somewhere straight from work. Your dog is going to become anxious in that situation because they can tell the time. Any dog owner will tell you that. They know when you're coming home. But they will start to get stressed and they'll be wondering, why aren't you here? I've normally gone out by now. They'll start to feel anxious. But with these rising stress levels, in some dogs that can result in destructive behaviour. Or another example is you get home at 5 o'clock, but you've got a massive migraine and you just cannot physically get out to walk your dog. Your dog doesn't know what's going on, your dog doesn't understand, your dog is going to be working themselves up, walking around, wondering why haven't we gone yet. They're probably going to start barking at you, running back and forth to the door, biting at your feet, whatever it is to try and get you to move, which is not going to help your migraine, but it's increasing your dog's anxiety levels because as far as they're concerned, we always go out when you get home from work. And they can't settle because they're now at a point where they need that structure and that walk in order to be able to settle. They don't know how to settle without it. And it's the same for meal times. If you feed your dog on the dot the same time every day, particularly if they're a foodie dog, the day you can't do that, they're going to be acting like their world has ended. They'll be howling, they'll be running at the food cupboard, they'll be doing anything they can to try and get fed. And this doesn't just stop at meal times and walks. It also affects things like what time they wake up in the morning, whether they have to go straight out to the toilet, training routines, if you're very structured with we always train at this time every day, play times, if you're very structured with, say, after the kids have eaten, then we all play with the dog. Whatever it is, all little things can become very quickly to your dog a routine that they need. And even things like separation anxiety. So a lot of people will maybe put their dog into the kitchen and then maybe scatter treats on the floor and say, bye, I'm going, I love you, be back soon. Now you think you're helping your dog by doing that routine, but if your dog doesn't like being left, each part of that routine just increases their anxiety. They're like, oh no, put me in the kitchen, and now they put the treats on the floor, and now they're saying goodbye, and they know that that routine finishes with you leaving them. Well, you might actually be better not having that routine or being more flexible about it. I mean, separation anxiety is a big topic and the routine is only a part of it, but it's an important part. Now, owners will say to me, particularly new owners, oh, but my life is very structured. I'll be home the same time every day. I'll always get up at 6 o'clock, so I'm always going to take them for a walk as soon as I wake up. To which I say, can you really guarantee that you'll be able to maintain that every single day for the next 10 to 15 years or however long you have your dog for? Really? Probably not. We're human. Life happens. Things out of our control happens. We can't guarantee that we're going to be able to do that every single day for our dogs. So if there are things that we can start to do now to make them more open to change, more flexible and build their resilience, then I think we should be doing that. My own dogs, I've got 3 dogs of different breeds. We don't have a set getting up time. They get up when I get up. So if I need them up super early one day, they'll get up. And if I let them have a lie-in, because I want a lie-in, they'll get up when I get up, which means that days off are a lot more pleasant because I'm not having to get up earlier to get the dogs out. With meal times, they get fed twice a day, generally in the morning between 7:30 and 9 a.m. and in the evening between 4 and 5:30, anytime within that time. And their walks is whenever is convenient for me really, and that's fitting around work, life, the weather, whatever. They just fit in around me. And the length of their walks vary, so sometimes they'll go out for a longer walk, sometimes they'll go out several times during the day. Occasionally they will have days where they might just get a 10-minute walk or no walk at all. It's not an everyday thing, but it is an occasional thing. Now, one of my dogs is a border collie, so it's not, oh, they need exercise, I have to get them out. You know, they're all three of them are very active dogs, but they will have those days every now and then when I don't walk them. Actually, this is something a lot of trainers do. I could probably do, there is a reason behind it. If you want me to do another video on that, just let me know and I will. They get their leads and collars put on in different order. They get in and out of the van in different orders. Pretty much everything is very laid back, and as a result they're very laid back, chilled out, and if something's happening in my life or in the family, in the house, they don't bat an eyelid, they just go with the flow because they don't know any different. That's how I've purposely brought them up, with the lack of a structured set routine. So with a puppy I would advise doing this from day one, because you can get it done from the start. It's a lot easier, and bring them up to be very flexible and to fit around you. It is a little bit more difficult with an older dog or a rescue dog, but you can do it. You just need to break it down into tiny little steps so that you don't induce too much stress. So some things you could start doing with an older dog, maybe start to move their meal time around a little bit, just by a few minutes either side of their normal time. If you normally get them straight out the car after you've got out of the car, maybe leave them in the car, go and unlock the front door, then go back to the car, providing it's not parked really far away, and get them out then. And maybe in the morning when you come down, if you normally come down, let them straight out, maybe come down, put the TV on for 20 seconds and then let them out, and then you can build it up from there. So as always, the advice I've given here is purely that. It's just my advice. You need to do what works for you, your dog and your family, but hopefully it's given you some food for thought.